Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my very simple goal planning setup. It's not something I spend loads and loads of time on. I am quite laid back when it comes to goals. I will kind of talk through what I do and how I do it, but this is very much, I suppose it's a lazier approach to goal planning. So if you are someone with kind of big plans for the year and want a really rigid structured system for goal planning, this isn't it. This is a lot more of a casual approach. It's something that I do to basically feel like I'm working towards something throughout the year, but not feeling like I'm under huge amounts of pressure, because I know me and I know myself, and that doesn't work for me. I need something to go after, and I need things to tick off, but I absolutely need to have enough wiggle room in my life that I'm not 100% kind of planning out my weeks with clear goals every minute of every day. Hopefully that makes sense, but it should probably kind of become clear as we go through the setup and how I do it. Okay, getting into the actual goal planning. This is the Hub and Each Cousin, as you will have seen, and these two pages, the turning the page for New Year, which is basically the end of the week and the start of the daily pages. This spread is perfect for goal planning. Every year I've used the Hub and Each Cousin, I have used this in some way for goal planning. Before I get into what I've done and what you can see here, I kind of wanted to talk through a little around the start of my goal planning process. So every year what I basically do is think about, what do I want from my life this year? So it won't necessarily be thinking about the goal in mind, it's thinking about, where do I want to be this year? What do I want to experience? What do I want to do? And working it back from there. And that's something I do in my work life as well, regarding kind of personal and professional development, is where do I want to be? Where does my future career look like? Do I want to be working in an office? What kind of size company do I want to be working for? How much do I want to be working? Because that will, fit into what seniority level I want to go for, etc. And I always think about the end goal in mind and work back from there. And so for me, for this year, it's very, very simple. I want to be healthy, happy, and financially secure. It's as simple as that. Like I say, these aren't massive, huge goals in terms of, there's no, I want to climb Everest. So that's as simple as it is for me. Happy, healthy, financially secure. So I have my overarching goal or theme for the year. I then have split up 4 sections of my life that basically will play into that. I then need to kind of go the next level down in terms of, okay, so what's the overarching goal for each of these sections, and how does that relate back to the aim for the year? So finance is an easy one. I have set myself a savings goal for the year. Very simple. Lethbridge paper, very similar again. I've set myself a profit goal, a monthly profit goal for the year. Those two together, if I nail both of those, this isn't me saying I'll be, mortgage free and rolling in it, but I will feel financially secure. Life, stay happy. That's kind of an easy one in terms of the goal. I will say some of these obviously aren't SMART targets. If you've seen anyone talk about goal planning and things like that, they'll talk about SMART, measurable, attainable, etc. For some of my things, they are a bit wishy-washy. Again, this is why I say this isn't a, super rigorous goal planning structure. This is more okay, what do I want to do this year? How do I want to get there? And just something to keep me feeling like I am moving forward and not just treading water. Final one, health. I have a weight loss target that I want to then maintain. So I don't have a huge amount of weight to lose. It's kind of about 5 kilos or so. It's weight that I lost a couple of years ago during COVID, and it slowly crept back up. And for me, it's okay, I want to get back to that goal weight and then maintain it. And that's the key bit. It's the maintenance bit. The losing the weight is easy, and generally my eating habits aren't terrible. It's just the allowing myself to have too many cheat days in a row that then just snowballs. That's kind of the issue. So that's the next bit. So I have, for each of the areas, I have my goal for each. Hopefully this is making sense so far. So yeah, so now I have my goal for each section that all leads back to my overarching goal or aspiration for the year. I then want to start splitting it down into chunks. So how am I going to get to this main goal? I don't know why I've ended up with 4s. I don't have a big thing about the number 4, but I have found that 4 tasks into 4 sections, it works quite nicely. It's manageable. It's not super ridiculous. In years gone by, I've had goals and then had like 10 different things underneath, and I have to be realistic with myself and, you know, how many different things I'm focusing on for this year, and 4 is a good number of actionable things that I can do each month or each week, whatever it might be, that I know will get me to whatever the goal may be. So to go through, so first one, finance. So I have an overarching goal, and what I need to do, or rather what I've worked out from there, is how much I need to put into savings each month at least. Very simple calculation. But then how am I going to do that? Well, part of what I need to do is I need to start investing. I don't do enough around pensions and investments and things like that. I have savings already, but I'm not making it work well enough for me. So that is a big thing that I need to do. It's not, you know, that's not something that I'll do once a month. That's something where once I've done it. It'll probably just be a check-in and review how the investment's going. Next one is probably the biggest one. Have a monthly budget and stick to it. So I've done budgeting and finance tracking for years, and I'm in a really good place with it, but I know that I could be better. And having these goals, you know, having this thing where I sit down once a month and go, okay, have I actually put into savings what I've said I will? No. Okay, why? Well, it's because you didn't stick to your budget. So having that, you know, self-policing should be, I'm not going to say easy, but if I get that right, this definitely happens. Finally, because I wanted to add in another one, and it is a big thing for me this year, stationery no spend. I have lots of stationery and I need to use some of it, and I'm also going to Japan this year, and so I know that there will be loads I'll want to buy, and I will buy because I'm going all the way to Japan. I'm not going to go and do a stationery no spend, but equally it means that I don't need to buy stuff now. I can wait until I go to Japan, because let's face it, most of what I buy is Japanese stationery, because we know they make the best stationery. And those are my simple 4 buckets of, okay, if I do all of those, I will absolutely hit that savings goal. And as part of the, you know, start investing, that's also future-proofing my financial goals. Next, we have health. So really simple one, in theory, again. Work out 4 times a week, hit my daily step goal, use my fitness pal, dry January. All things that are very easy and measurable. I don't think I'll necessarily hit it every week. You know, there will be weeks where maybe I'm sick or I'm on holiday and I can't necessarily work out 4 times, but I know that if I keep consistently to the majority of these, I will absolutely hit that easily. My fitness pal, so I do calories in, calories out, and my fitness pal is fantastic for it. I don't do kind of crazy diets. I don't starve myself. If my friend Sam is watching this, he'll probably laugh at this point, because I have been known to accidentally miss meals. But what I tend to do is just eating better, and my fitness pal really helps with that, because as soon as you see how many calories something that you think is relatively healthy, it just helps make some better decisions. Lethbridge paper, so this one is, again, very simple kind of actions that I can take. These alone won't probably help me hit my profit for the month, but it's good habits that, alongside some other bits which I'll share next, will absolutely help. Like, I can't get to that unless I do these, but I know that there's more around that. But these are the main goals of weekly video, monthly blog post, monthly new releases to keep lots of newness in the shop, and then a goal around Instagram. I have always had a complicated relationship with Instagram. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, but I know if I can keep consistent with it and grow that audience, it will absolutely help with some of these goals. Finally, life. So this was probably the vaguest goal that you probably looked at and went, that's not really a goal, but there's more to it than that. So this was probably, stay happy was just a great way of summing it up. A big thing for me this year, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you will know, is I don't want to spend all of my time either working on Lethbridge paper or exercising. I need to make more time for fun things, whether that be weekends with Matt, my boyfriend, going away, day trips, things like that, which we're pretty good at doing, but I wanted to add that in to make sure that actually, not that we need to keep the consistency to it, it's more of a, I want to make sure there's a nod to that in there. It's generally what we do anyway, but it would have felt wrong to not have something around doing things with Matt in here. Daily creative hobby time, so that can be absolutely anything. So it can be painting, reading, gaming, card making, journaling, anything that just feels like nice, relaxing, yeah, doing something that isn't work basically. Finally, daily Japanese lessons. So as I'm going to Japan, I want to learn Japanese and at least be, I know I'm not going to be fluent, but if I can get by and be able to, you know, make out enough that I don't feel like a complete alien, that will be enough for me. And then the final one, finish house and garden. So this is a future one because we are buying a house, we're not in there yet, but I wanted to put a nod to the home in here because I will probably be spending a lot of time making that how we want it, and I will really enjoy that, and I know that that will be a big part of my happiness for this year, is making that house a home, which is cheesy as hell, but it's true. The next element to the goal planning was just a bit of a brainstorm really around each of the areas, and all I did was basically take the actions from the previous page and kind of split them up into, okay, so what's monthly, what's weekly, and then do a bit of a brain dump. So to give you finance an example, so my monthly actions are budget setup and a no spend tracker. My weekly actions, budget check-in. So once a week on a Friday, I tot up everything I've spent in all the different categories and check it against my budget. How well am I doing? Do I need to pull back? What needs to happen differently? And then other, so I need to do investment research. I can't start investing unless I know what the hell I'm doing. More social evenings in, so, you know, I don't necessarily have to go out to be social. We can invite friends over and do a takeaway rather than going out to the pub or going out to dinner. I'm not saying that I'm going to do that all the time, but just being a bit more mindful of there are cheaper evenings than going out and blowing however much on a meal. No work food spending, so I work in the office 3-4 days a week. I have gotten a lot better with this, and this is more of a actually keep at it. So I make my own coffee at work, I take my lunches, I take my breakfast. I very rarely need to spend money at work, and I just want to keep up to that because I don't need to spend that money. Easy enough. And I've done the same basically for every of the areas. So monthly actions, keep a weekend free or plan things in advance for life. Habit trackers for hobby and Japanese, which if you've seen any of my planner layouts, you'll have seen that I've added that in. And then again, just brain dump. So need to do house planning once we've got the exchange date and know when we're going to move in. Look for workshops. So I love doing local kind of crafty workshops. We've done some painting ones, candle making. They're really good fun and definitely need to find more this year. Just a bit of a reminder to get back into card making. It's something I've done on and off, and I haven't sat down and made any for a while. I did intend to make my Christmas cards, Christmas just gone and didn't. I'm just gaming more. I did a lot of gaming last year, kind of at the start of the year when I wasn't working and was enjoying some time off, and then I've not really done much since, and I want to get back to that because actually it's a really good kind of blow off, chill out kind of time, blow off steam / chill out time. Health, so monthly actions on health. If you've seen my Hobonichi week setup, you will have seen that I have a whole weeks dedicated to health and fitness planning, so I have a really easy way to see, okay, how much exercise have you been doing, how's your step goal going, although I have got that on my habit tracker, and it's a really good way to push yourself to do it, because if you have to fill in 500 steps or you have to leave that box blank because you haven't worked out all week, it gives you a good shove. Other kind of brain dump, so part of when we move in, we're going to have a home gym, so there's absolutely no excuses to not work out 4 times a week. We'll also be in a better area for running. We're going to get bikes because we'll be in a better area for that. So it's very much these are the goals, and although I'm going to do a lot before we move in, when we're in that house, I should just fly, and if I don't, I will be having words with myself. Finally, on Lethbridge paper, so I've got my monthly actions and my weekly actions. So this is the bit that I was referring to around a bit of a brainstorm, and more of this will probably happen than any of the other areas. So this is just some initial ideas that I had around, okay, so I need to be making sure that I'm doing regular content research. Am I looking at what videos my viewers are watching from other channels and ensuring that actually I'm serving the content that people want? You know, if everyone's doing plan with me's and I never do it, but those are popular with my viewers, then my viewers obviously enjoy it. So I need to make sure that I'm reviewing that kind of data that I get to ensure that actually I'm giving you guys videos that you want. Source new products and reintroduce them. So this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. So I used to, kind of in the early days of the shop, sell planning supplies as well as stickers, and I kind of have moved away from that and I miss it. So that's, spoiler alert, something that's going to be reintroduced for 2024. And just a general being more active on socials. I am not very good at keeping into the planning community, and it's all on me, but also partly because Facebook keep changing how they surface groups. So they used to have a groups app that was a great way to keep involved in groups and, you know, chat to people. They keep making it more and more difficult, and now when I try and look at groups, I just get surfaced groups that I'm not even a member of, that isn't even related to planning or journaling, because that's the majority of the groups that I'm in, and it just is really difficult now to feel kind of part of those communities, which is really sad. So I know I need to make more of an effort, and that's kind of as far as it goes in terms of the goal planning for the year. So I've probably taken ages talking through this, but it's actually quite a simple thing, and a lot of it is just, you know, brain dumps of what things can I do, and this is something that I will keep alive throughout the month. So the next bit that I want to just briefly touch on is putting everything into practice, because you can spend all the time, you know, goal planning for the year and deciding what you want to do and what you want to go after, but it's the how you actually do it that is the big bit. And the monthly spread in whatever planning you use will be key to that, because it's always key to me. And how I kind of arrange it is I ensure that when I'm setting up my month, that I capture everything from the goals in terms of what needs to be done monthly on here. So you'll see, so in terms of blog posts, new releases, YouTube videos I haven't put because they are pretty much a habit now. I know that every Monday, because that's my filming day, I will do a video for the following week, or sometimes I'll get ahead. But I make sure that this basically captures everything that I need to do each month that isn't kind of fitness related, purely because I have tracking for that. I don't set myself, you know, I don't write in here kind of full workouts to do. This is more of a, actually I track it and then review piece, but everything else is I need to do it. So budget setup is in here, and it's, you know, it's all visible, so that when I'm setting up my week, I can then migrate over as and when it needs to be done. To then build on that, so talking about kind of weekly tasks and things like that. So in here we've got, so things like hobby, Japanese, Instagram stories, step goal, calorie goal, things that I know I need to do weekly / daily. In here there'll be, you know, where I talked about doing YouTube, it's part of my weekly cadence. When I'm setting up my week, those weekly tasks will just go in here. Same with Instagram, laying all of that out, it all just goes in there and gets set up as part of my week. Alongside that, or rather I guess to assist with that, I do have this regular tasks layout in my Filofax, just as a bit of a reminder really, so that when I'm setting up my week, I can make sure that everything that is applicable goes on to the weekly layout. This has been working out really well for me so far, so I'm hoping that when it comes to monthly review time, it won't go too horrifically and I won't be too angry at myself. These blank monthly pages I will use to kind of refer back to these elements rather that I talked about here, and a bit of an overview. So what went well, what didn't go well, what can I do differently next time. I'll probably do a check-in after Q1 just to show you how this is looking like, because this is probably the bit that I've been not great at over the past few years. So this is the one that I really need to focus in on and get better at, not just from a reviewing perspective, but then, okay, so what actions do I need to take on the back of that and making it happen? But that's the plan for the monthly kind of review check-in, and hopefully that will keep me on track. I hope that was useful and made sense. If you do have any questions about any element of goal planning, if you want to see more regular check-ins than I'm kind of planning, because at the moment I think probably an end of Q1 check-in and show you how I've been doing my like monthly reviews and things like that. If you want anything more, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to film. But hopefully, yeah, this was helpful. Like I say, this isn't a super strict, rigorous goal planning technique. This is a simple, I want to feel like I'm working towards something and I'm not going to put a huge amount of pressure on myself, but equally I do want to succeed. That's all this is. But hopefully you liked this. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.